Hey everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
Today we're checking out Mighty.
Yes. And this is the Korean version.
Yes.
We do not have the American version. We do have the version that the Korean version from Korea Board Games. But as you can see from our title splash page, there are graphics for an English language version.
I assume that it will be also released in English.
Because
it has this box. So.
Yes. And I mean, the cards look like standard playing cards. So it's not like you have to have any sort of language specific things for all this to make sense to you.
That's right. But there is this edition that's coming out. It is, I think, otherwise, came out originally in the 70s or something. So the game was created then.
Though it may have been created long, long ago, because there are many different partner trick taking games that all seem to be somewhat similar with little variations here and there. Mighty, this version, plays originally exactly 5 players, but can play 4 to 6 players with the variants that are found in the rulebook. And the game plays in approximately, according to the box, in 30 minutes. So thanks to Korea Board Games for providing us this copy of Mighty, but they didn't give it to us in exchange for this video. They gave it to us because they know we like to play all the games. Yeah, see? Everyone's on it. Yes. So, let's go.
That if you are playing the full 10 rounds, it's going to take longer than 30 minutes, though. That's my take.
Well, we played somewhat close to that.
Yeah, but we only played like 6 rounds or 5 rounds.
So
before it ended.
So I gotta say, trick taking games are among my favorite sort of games. Once on one of my trips to China, the people carrying us on boat to some rock drawings. Wow. Hey, we got a raid. Thanks for raiding. What were y'all playing? We are explaining the rules for Mighty, which is a really cool trick-taking game. Anyway, when I went to China, I got to learn a game that I have not been able to find on Board Game Geek. It's like Big 3, or Big 2, or any of those sort of variants. But the essence of the game is that it is a partner trick-taking game. But here's the catch. You don't know who your partner is. And that was so fascinating to me.
Right.
And I think it was the person who had the 3 of clubs was your partner. Well, this is somewhat similar in that you don't know who your partner is, but you can call for a specific card to be your partner locating card. Let's take a look at this game while I teach you all the rules. So if Steph will click over onto the English language rules for me so I can see things.
Yeah.
You are going to, as you can see, this looks like a normal 52 card deck of playing cards. The spades have this sort of off bluish black color. The club cards are definitely black. You can actually tell the difference if I put the spades next to the clubs. You can see how the spades are much bluer. Hearts, obviously red, and diamonds is this really nice yellow color. Now, all of the cards that will give you trick points have a little symbol down here underneath the rank and suit. You'll see the little squiggle mark here. That is the symbol that they use to denote that this card is worth 1 point. There are 5 in each suit: 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace. So, because it's 5 cards in 4 suits, 20 of those will be worth points. And therefore, the most you can bid on a trick is 20, because that's the most number of points that you can
You
capture.
gonna run the table?
You'll have to run the table with a full 20.
That's hard to do.
So, this works like most trick-taking games. You are going to deal out all of these cards. Let me scroll up here. We just learned this the other day, and I want to make sure to not leave out any super important rules. Now, this, as I mentioned, is a standard 52 card deck. However, you will also have one joker in the deck. So, you are going to first determine the dealer chosen by random, and in future rounds it depends on who won the previous game as to who becomes the next dealer. It does not just rotate around clockwise. So the dealer shuffles the cards and deals 10 cards to each player, and so you'll have 3 cards left. You'll just put those 3 cards in the center of the table. And as soon as Steph saw that, she's like, "Oh, look, there's a kitty!" And Steph loves trick-taking games with a kitty.
Yeah, I grew up playing whist, so that's my history with trick-taking games. So kitty whist.
Now, keep in mind that this is for a 5-player game. I will explain the 4-player version here in a second. So, deal out the 10 cards to each player, and then starting with the dealer, you are going to either bid a number from 11 to 20 or pass. If you want to bid, you have to bid larger than the previous person who bid. So let's say that I was the dealer and I bid 11 diamonds. Now you're going to point this little red area, you're going to point that towards whoever holds the current bid. Let's say, did I say 11 hearts? We'll go 11 hearts. The next player in line can either say 12 or higher of any other suit, or even hearts. It could have hearts for the suit. Now this is going to be the trump suit. Obviously, I will have a lot of hearts if I'm going to call 11 in hearts. Somebody else could call 12 in diamonds or 13 in spades. However they want to do it. They can just increase it by 1 if they want. Alternatively, they can bid 11 no trump. So the only way that you can bid the same amount is if you do no trump. Notice how it's slightly higher than 11 suited, but it is below 12 suited. So bidding is going to keep going around and around and around. Once you've passed, though, you are out. You cannot come back into the bid. But basically, whoever is left is going to keep battling back and forth until everybody has passed, or until one player bids 20. As soon as you bid 20, you can't go anymore. You'll notice that's why there is no 20 no suit, 20 no trump. That's above these other 20s, because as soon as someone bids 20, that's it. So whoever wins the bid is going to look at the 3 cards in the kitty, and then they're going to take 3 cards of their 13 and put down in the middle. These cards will automatically count as captured by the what is called now the ruling team. Whoever wins the bid and their partner is going to be considered the ruling team. Everyone else is on the opposition. So after putting 3 cards into the middle as being captured, the dealer will the person who has the bid will then call out for 1 card to be that person's partner. So let's say that I've called for 11 hearts and it just passed around. Currently, the ace of spades is called the mighty.
Hey, guess what? That's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game. That's right.
It must be a good card.
It must be a good card. So I will probably say something like, hey, I want the mighty. Whoever has the mighty is going to be my friend.
Hey, I have the mighty.
So if you have the mighty, you are my friend. But you probably want to stay secret for as long as possible. As soon as Steph plays this card, she will then take this friend token to let everyone know she's on my team.
Yeah, but if I can fool people for a little while.
You need to fool people for a little while into making them think, hey, any sort of tricks that she takes,
it's okay.
It's okay. I got them. So let's say it goes around a little bit, and let's say these 4 cards came out for some reason. Hey, I'm going to take all of these. If I've collected these, I'm just going to take all of them and put them in the middle because they're captured by me. But let's say Steph captured this. That's great for Steph. She's going to take these 2 cards. Nobody knows she's the friend yet. She's going to take these 2 cards and put them face up here. These 2 cards aren't worth anything. Just going to throw them off in the middle to make it easy to shuffle later. Steph has 2 of the 20 points in front of her. That's good. Whoever takes cards that are worth points are just going to be placed in front of you like this. But as soon as Steph says, haha, I am the friend, all of the cards that she has taken go into the captured area to count towards the 11. That's good for me. So,
and me.
Well, of course, because Steph is now my friend, she is going to earn half as many points as I earn. So that's going to be a good thing. So, there are, as I mentioned, a few special cards in the game, one of which is the mighty. There are a couple of rules to discuss with that. Let me scroll down to it. This is the strongest card of the game. Whoever plays the mighty during any rounds, that's going to unconditionally be the winner. So, although you can probably just barely see this, that is the Korean word for mighty. I'm assuming that the English version, this will say mighty on it. So, this obviously is going to be the mighty in most rounds. However, if the trump suit is spades, this is not mighty. The ace of diamonds is the mighty. This is highest trump card, but this is even bigger. This one is the mighty. If you're not sure how to remember, hey, look, over here on the side, this says which card is the mighty. Anytime except when spades are trump, if spades are not trump, the ace of spades is the mighty. When spades are trump, the ace of diamonds is the mighty. And actually, it says right here, I believe this says second mighty. So, if spades are trump, this becomes the most powerful card in the game. So if I've called for spades to trump, this might be who I call for the friend. Alternatively, it might not be the mighty that I called for. Let's say, for instance, I've called for hearts to be trump, and I've got the ace, queen, jack, 10. Maybe I call for the king of hearts to be my friend, because that's still going to be relatively powerful, and it covers up a lot of those. It makes it so I've got that hole in my trump suit covered up.
Yeah, other things I like to consider is if Michael bids 11 hearts and I bid 12 hearts.
Oh, we're both strong in hearts.
Maybe I call for a heart, knowing Michael probably has extra hearts available to help.
Exactly right. So the mighty is one special card. The Joker, which I mentioned earlier, and I have subsequently lost in the deck. The Joker is also a super powerful card. It's basically the second strongest card next to the mighty. If there's a Joker in a round that doesn't have a mighty, the Joker is usually going to win. The Joker does not have a suit, so whenever you are playing for those of you who know about trick-taking games, you do not have to follow suit. For those of you who don't know what that means, I'll explain it really quickly. Let's say that somebody leads off with the 2 of clubs. We're going to go around the table playing one card in a piece. If you have a club, you must play into it with a club. Except for if you have the Joker or the Mighty. Those 2 cards can be played at any time. So, but let's say you don't have the Mighty or a Joker, you have to follow suit. If you can't follow suit, you can play any card. Maybe you've got some hearts, and maybe you could take a really easy trick by being the highest trump card played into the trick. Or if you don't have anything else you can play, maybe you just throw something off suit that is not going to win, but it's probably not going to do you any good either. So let's say that we play a 4, a 10, and a king. There are no trumps played into the suit, so the highest card in the led suit will take that trick.
Bree just got 2 points.
Ta-da! Bree just got 2 points. Look at that. And these, I'll just all go in the middle because they're not worth anything. And Bree says, whoa.
Woohoo.
So, the third special card. Oh, I do need to mention the Joker can be the weakest card in certain situations. It's the weakest card in rounds 1 and 10. So if you play it as the first card or the last card, this is the weakest
in the first
card.
First trick or last trick.
Oh, that's what I mean. The first trick or the first card played or the last card played in the first or last trick.
If it's played in that.
If it's played in those tricks, it is the weakest card played. There's one other special card, and that is called the Joker Call card. It's written at the bottom of the card or top. I'm not quite sure. Let me see if I can actually look at the Korean. I'm not quite sure of the orientation of this card. Anyway, this says Joker Call. It is usually the club 3. If the club 3 card is led during rounds 2 through 9, not just played into the trick, but led in rounds 2 through 9, then whoever has a Joker must play the Joker. And it is the Joker Call will nullify the Joker.
That's so rude.
The only time that the 3 of clubs is not the Joker Call card is when clubs are trump. When clubs are trump, as you can see down here in the corner, the 3 of spades is the second Joker Call card, and that one will become Joker Call instead of the 3 of clubs, because this is going to be a trump.
And I don't think you can play it on the first trick.
You can, if you do, it's fine, but you cannot call for the Joker on the first trick.
Yeah, okay.
It only works in rounds 2 through 9.
Yeah, got it.
So, if for some reason this were played on round 1, the Joker is the weakest card in the game anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
No, but
you don't.
It doesn't have to be played.
The Joker does not have to be played in rounds 1 or 10, but it's also not powerful. So, anyway, those are the only special cards in the game. You must lead the Joker Call card for it to be effective, but keep in mind, if someone plays clubs, and that's the only club card you have, you must play it.
Yeah.
So we all go around and we all collect cards. Let's talk a little bit about calculating score. At the end of the 10th round, the 10th card played into the trick, you're going to collect and count the scorecards collected by the opposition team. Obviously, if I'm looking for a 14, we can only afford to lose 6. The ruling team can only afford to lose 6. Otherwise, the ruling team is going to be set. some amount of points. As you can see from the score pad, everyone starts with 40 points. Some people are going to lose points. Some people are going to gain points. If the ruling team wins, then 10 points are subtracted from the from the number of tricks taken or the number of point cards taken. Let's say we got 18 out of 20. We only needed 14. Hey, Steph and I did really well.
Yeah, Bree got those 2 points.
Bree got those 2 points. We saw it happen. We are going to take 10 points away. That leaves us with 8. So Steph gets 8. I get 16. The other 3 people each lose 8. So the amount gained by the ruling team will always be equal to the amount lost by the opposition team, or vice versa. If the opposition team wins, the ruling team will lose that amount of points. So -8, -8, -8, plus 16 and plus 8 is how that works. So if the ruling team scores all 20 points, even if the declared target is not 20, the ruling team gets double the points they should have earned. 20 minus 10 is 10. You get 20. I get 40.
Seems really good.
And everybody else loses 20. That's really good. If the main player has not chosen a friend, I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, then the main player gets 8 times the number of points scored after 10 is subtracted. So let's say I had 18, subtract 10 is 8, times 8 is 64 points to me. And you jokers all lose 16. All 4 of you lose 16 points.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome. If the main player declares no trump, it's actually called no giru. Giru meaning the trump suit. If the main player declares no giru and wins, the main player receives double points. The opposition team loses double the points. And run and no friend and no giru can all be applied. You can stack those bonuses on top of one another. So a 20 no friend, no giru, you can basically just hand them the victory. Because if you can do that, that's pretty special.
Yes.
So, if the opposition team wins, let's go back to our 14 example. You're going to subtract the score earned by the ruling team from the target score. Let's say we got 12 instead of 14. Well, we're down by 2. That's not good. As a penalty, we lose double the points, and the opposition team earns double the points. So, we are, let's see, we're down by 2. Let me look at this example here. I want to make sure I call this right. Let's see. Declares 16, obtains 14, down by 2. Okay, so the main player loses 4, the friend loses 2, everybody else gains 2. So it's just like normal, where the main player gains or loses double. Friend earns single or loses single amounts. There is something called a back run. You remember how a run is 20? A back run is anything less than 10. Notice you can't even bid less than 11. If you are the main player and you lose and you get only 10 or fewer, which did happen when we played, then it is a huge defeat for the ruling team and you're going to lose double the points. So I'm down by 4 if I earn 10. I lose 8. You lose 4. They gain 4. No, that is not. That is no. That no. Double that.
Yeah, double that.
Double that. I'm down by 4. So normally it would be.
8.
I would normally lose 8. I lose 16.
Yeah,
normally you lose 4. You lose 8.
It's under 10.
Plus 8. Plus 8. Plus 8.
Yeah.
I'll get it right here in a second. Sorry, guys. So, there are a couple of other things to talk about. Let's talk about the game end. The game will end at the end of the 10th game, the 10th hand of cards.
Welcome in, Raiders!
Welcome in, Raiders. Taco-Maniac. We're explaining the rules for Mighty, which is a really cool trick-taking game from Korea Board Games. At the end of the 10th game, or a hand of cards, whoever has the most wins, or if a player has 0 points or less at any time, the game automatically stops. So, you'll notice that we've got some tokens here in front of us. This is a reshuffle token. If you have this reshuffle token and you have neither bid nor passed yet, you can throw this token out and say, reshuffle, and we basically scoop up all the cards and start the deal over from scratch. So, finally, the no friend rule. You could choose to not designate a player as friend at all. Instead of saying, I'm going to declare the Mighty as my friend, I can say, I want to go no friend. That is going to give me more points if I can go 1 against 4 and take my stated number of trick points. So, that works really well when it is a 5-player game. If you have only 4 players, a wild neutral player has appeared. The neutral player will also get their 10 cards like the 5th player normally would. But whenever it comes time for the neutral player to play a card, they're just going to play randomly and blindly into the trick. Let me tell you, this neutral player played really well.
He's very good at the game.
He's really good at the game. If the neutral player plays the trump suit, the neutral player could end up taking those points. The neutral player can also end up being the friend. The neutral player will also gain and lose points as normal. So keep all of those things in mind. It does work fairly well for a 4-player rule. When you have 6 players, a game will be played by 5 players with 1 spectator, and the spectator neither gains nor loses points. I would just recommend to play a 4 or 5 player version of this. I've not played with 6 players, but it seems sort of weird how there's a spectator version, spectator playing in the game. And so, anyway. There are also a few other variant rules that seem like they could be good in some situations where you could choose your friend or you can have an increased minimum declaration. But ultimately, I think the game is solid just as it is.
It's super cool. I was skeptical, of course.
Yeah, because you're really particular with trick-taking games. It's got to be real. Our favorite trick-taking game is Teach You, sort of a climbing game.
Yeah. Obviously.
So I too was skeptical, but when I heard Secret Friend, I'm like, yes, this game sounds a lot like Big 3.
If my first thought was it sounded like Mew, but with Mew you actually are bidding for vice and president, so you know who your partner is.
Right off the bat.
I like this one because you have to be subtle about how you're playing these cards, and you're asking for a partner based on the card that they have. So you know that they have this card, but you don't know who it is. So I think that's like super clever.
And you don't even like hidden role games. Generally speaking, this is different, is it not?
It's very different because you get to request a card, and you can kind of know what people are bidding, so you kind of know who your partner might be, unless it's a robot trying to ruin all your plans. But it's it's really cool. And most of the trick taking games I like learning them, but I never get like excited to go back and play again. It's rare that I'm like, ooh. But this one, I'm like, I want to see how it plays.
Yes.
Because we only played with 4 players with a bot, so I want to see how it plays with 5 players, because I think it'll be really cool.
Yes. This, definitely a keeper.
Oh, for sure.
I mean...
It's one of the best games I've learned this month, I think.
I agree, 100%. So although we cannot show it to you at 2 players, hopefully this rules teach was enough to really get you interested in purchasing a copy of Mighty.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be played with a normal deck, but I mean, come on. The board, the extra little components, the the really attractive colors of the deck, and the nice art. It really, I mean, look at this. It looks fantastic. So, highly recommend checking this out. And good job by Korea Board Games for releasing Mighty. And if you enjoyed this teach and playthrough, then you can get more just like it on YouTube at Board Gamer Steph. Or come join us on twitch.tv every Wednesday, twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central, where we stream through 3 games or more every single stream. So come join us on chat on Twitch, where we play all the games.
And for those on Twitch, we will be right back. Thanks for all those raids, by the way. We'll be right back to talk about that.